how does one attain Simcha, happiness? Pasuk says, Ozaru latzadik uliyishrei leiv simcha. A light is sown for a tzaddik, and for the upright at heart, he has simcha. The Targum on the words liyishrei leiv says litritza liba, which means teretz is to answer up. Says Rav Hutner that Yashrus, Yishrei Leiv, what we think usually means being straightforward, says the Targum that's not what Yishrei Leiv means. A Yashar is someone who's able to answer up his friend. We get upset at people, at situations we feel they did wrong to us, and that makes us upset. And we're not happy. If we would learn the midah of being dan lekav schus, and we'd be able to answer up a person that what they did was not against us, then we wouldn't be upset, and we'd be happy. So like Yishrei Leiv, a person who has yashers, he'll have simcha. But it doesn't just mean to answer up your friend. The Mishnah says, "Havadan es kol adam lekav schus." We should judge all people lekav schus. The Froshim says, "Kol adam" means yourself too, because sometimes we get down about ourselves and we feel bad what we did, and then we're not happy because we blame ourselves. But we have to use the midah of dan lekav schus on ourselves too. Include ourselves and give ourselves the benefit of the doubt. And then we'll have simcha, because we won't be upset at what others do, and we won't be upset at ourselves. And the truth is that we have this, every Yid has it in his DNA, this midah of Yashrus. Because the Pasuk says, Lahagid baboyka chazdacha v'manasech b'leilos. Lahagid ki yosher Hashem tzuri v'loy v'osaboy. To tell that Hashem is a yosher. Hashem had the midah of Yashrus. And if Hashem has the midah of Yashrus, we have it in ourselves too. If you take the word Yisrael, Yisrael is Yud Shin Reish Yosher, Aleph Lamed Kel. Every one of Klal Yisrael has the Yashrus of Kel that Hashem has. So we have in our DNA the midah of Yashrus. We have it in ourselves to be dan lekav schus, and that's why we're able to attain the midah of simcha.
Hello everyone, and my bracha to all those who have joined us for Sparks in Seconds. We're going to be speaking about the mitzvah of Simcha and the Regolim. Now we know that in general there's an idea and a concept of Simcha, like the Pasuk says, Ivdu es Hashem b'Simcha, serve Hashem b'Simcha. Yet when it comes to the Yomim Tovim, to the Sholosh Regolim, the Pasuk tells us specifically a mitzvah, v'somachtu b'chagecha, you should have Simcha in your Yom Tov. What is this special mitzvah that we have to be b'Simcha on the Yom Tovim? And what is the avodah? What is it that we accomplish through that Simcha that we have on those Yom Tovim? First, let's define what Simcha is. The Kitzur Shulchan Aruch tells us, V'hadaigo hi hepech hasimcha. Worry, concern, those things are the opposite of Simcha. A person is afraid that perhaps the choices that he's making are not the best choices. A person feels that the path that he's chosen may not be quite the right path. That person does not have Simcha. And from that we can deduce that the opposite is true. If a person feels confident that his choices are correct, if he knows that the path that he has chosen is the correct and proper path in life, that person will be b'simcha. That is true simcha. It's not just being happy. It's being confident that you have made the right choices those things which will give a person success, true success in life, that's what gives a person simcha. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says on Chag HaPesach, you must come and meet with me. I have a very important message to give you. What's the message? You are my Am HaNivchar. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I have chosen you to be the nation that represents me in the world. That, as much as we can internalize that concept, and the Chayiv Odom Aliris is Asmoy Ki'iru Hu Yotzim Mitzrayim, that he knows that he is the chosen. He's been chosen for a mission and a purpose. To that degree, the person has the clarity of who he is, what he is, and that gives him simcha. Here comes a Yom Tif of Shavuos. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I must meet with you. Come, I have a very important thing to tell you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'm giving you the Torah. That Torah is your mission in life, to bring Kedusha into this world, to serve me in this world. You have been chosen, and now I am giving you the mission itself, the Torah. The more a person can internalize what that mission is, the more the person can relate to the simcha of the Yom Tif, the clarity of what it is that he's got to accomplish with his life in this world. Rabbi Shamshon Efrol Hirsch says that we find the word moyadim, moyed, in two places. In one place we find oyel moyed, it's the place of meeting. And the other place we find the moyadim, those are the times of meeting. Both of them have to do with meeting. One is in place and one is in time. But there's another concept with moyadim, and that's the concept of eidus, giving testimony. When we meet with HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the right place and in the proper time, that it emerges from those meetings an eidus and a testimony to the world that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has chosen us, made us his Am HaNivchar, given us our mission to bring him and Kedusha into the world. And that is what gives us our sense of purpose and our simcha in life. That is the simcha of the Yom Tovim, the simcha of the Moyadim. And the more we connect to it, the more we relate to it, the more we live our lives with that clarity and that simcha.
Let's get happy. What is the difference between happiness and pleasure? Pleasure is the sensitization of the five senses. We see beautiful sights, landscapes, we hear beautiful music, we taste a steak, we touch silk or a furry rabbit, and we smell beautiful spices for Havdalah and beautiful roses. That's called pleasure, the scintillization of the five senses. But when we talk about happiness, simcha, the Torah view of simcha, we're looking for something more everlasting, more eternal, more long-lasting. How do we achieve that? Let's see. This is you and me. You and I are made up of three dimensions: the mind, the heart, and the actions. Neshama, ruach, and guf. We live, human beings live right here in the ruach. We are happy, we are sad, we are motivated, frustrated. Normally, when things happen, we go down into gravity and say, oh, that was hard, that was terrible. I get unhappy. I get depressed. I get anxious. I get sad. This is the cause of non-happiness. The trick is to be able to go from here and go against gravity into my mind, into my abilities, into my kochos hanefesh, into my seichel, and say, I can handle this. Now let's go to a happiness model from the Torah and see how we can achieve long-lasting happiness. This is the model. In life, stuff happens. We have illness, unfortunately, a death of a loved one, abuse, divorce, neglect, abandonment, loss of a job, being a victim, or being addicted. Difficult things happen in life. These things affect our model of self, mind, heart, and actions, directly in the feelings. We feel sad when these things happen, and gravity brings us down, and we feel on autopilot, we feel a reaction to the stuff of difficulty of life, and we get hopeless. We get feeling of worthlessness, anxiety, depression, and paralysis. We go down into gravity. How do you get happy? Go against gravity, breathe in, access your higher self, and say, I can handle these difficulties. I can deal with them. When you deal with them, then you move on and you separate. The stuff affects my heart, my feelings. I go down into gravity, but I separate from these things and I say, these things are not me. These difficulties do not define me. I define me. I go up against gravity and say, my neshama, my mind, my seichel, my abilities, my kochos, my spirituality, that defines me, not these things. So I separate from these difficulties and from my neshama, and I say, my neshama is me, my neshama is my higher self. These difficulties happened to me. Then you move on to the third model, which is the third part of the model, which is sweetening. What lesson did I learn from these difficulties? How did I transform the pain into growth? How did I transform the challenge into destiny? How did I self-actualize because of these difficulties that made me grow as a person? This is the definition of Simcha. To see these things happening, separate from them, from the bad difficulties, and say, they're not me. I'm higher than them. And I learn things from them. Learning from difficulties is called Simcha. It's called growth. Simcha means I grow from one level to the next level by becoming a better person. I grow in character. And this is the Torah model. At the beginning, there was Choshech. The first pasuk is, Sohu vavo v'choshech al pnei tehom. There is darkness and void on the face of the deep. These things happen. Then, Vayavdel Elokim ben ha'or ben ha'choshech. Hashem separated from the darkness, from the light, and said, the light is me, but this is not me. This has happened to me. And then, Vayhi or, let there be light. The light is what I've learned from it. So the Torah model for happiness is to follow the first few psukim of Breshis and say, yes, there is choshech, but I can separate Vayavdel Elokim ben ha'or ben ha'choshech, and then Vayhi or. I gain new light and insight into my life. I've grown as a person. I've grown in character. Now that's the definition of real Torah happiness.
Hi. So guys, I was asked to put together a very quick video about the concept of happiness. So number one, anybody who thinks you can put together a 2 or 3 minute video on the concept of happiness, not so much. It's an impossibility. Because happiness is a lifetime work. Finding inner peace really is going to take a lot longer than just this 2 minute video. But I'd like to at least give you an address of where to look. So what we're looking at over here is the Derech Chaim of the Maharal. If you're from Waterbury, so I'm sure you've heard Rabbi Kaufman speak about the Maharal once or twice. And so therefore, definitely on the right path. And inside the Derech Chaim, so towards the end of his Pirush on Perkei Avos, called the Derech Chaim, so we have over here the 48, the Mem Ches Kinyani Torah, the 48 Kinyanim of Torah. And number Chav Zayin, 27, is V'hasameach bechalko, somebody who is sameach with his lot in life. I was asked to talk about Simcha, so obviously this is the place. Now, I would like to read you this Maharal, just a few words, and then we'll discuss it for just a few minutes. V'hasameach bechalko. Shasameach bechalko ba'anu lamayla, we explained before. Shu enu chaser ba'atzmo. He's not missing anything within himself. Shimhu enu misameach bechalko, because let's face it, if he's not misameach, lo yekabel adam kamo ze hashlama b'torah. Sharei haTorah hi la'adam lashlim atzmo v'zeh chaser le'olam. If somebody is not misameach bechalko, so that means he's keep on saying, I'm not happy with what I have, I'm lacking, I wish I had more. And if he wishes he had more, so then you don't have completion. The Torah, though, is complete. And so you're never going to have a hashlama in Torah. Now, the reason why the Maharal is going down this path is because what the 48 kinyanim of Torah is, each one is its own level of prescription for what you need to be a full-on kibel acceptor of Torah. So he's trying to tell us that you need hashlama in your life. So Hashlama in your life is simcha in your life. Simcha and hashlama and the maral lashon are always very similar. They go hand in hand. These two things, number 26 and 27, hamakir mikomo, knowing your place, vasamech bechalko, and being samech with your lot. Ki haTorah hi hashlamat adam, lakach roi she'adam ba'ofen zeh shu ra'u el hashlama, ve'en el hashlama rak im haya chaser kodem hashlama, v'achakach yushlam. Ve'im ein makir mikomo, למה לא השלמה בתורה? הרי הוא שלם לפי דעתו קודם, וכבר אמרנו שנראה השלמה רק אם הוא חסר קודם. Okay. So, in English, goes like this. You have to know your place. When a person knows his place, he says, so then you're going to have a simcha in your chelik. And once you have a simcha in your chelik, you're complete. And when you're complete, you have Torah. Somebody who thinks that he knows his place, he says, so he's not lacking, and if he's not lacking, so then how can you build up something if you're not lacking? And if you can't build up something you're not lacking, when in truth you don't know your place, but you got it wrong, so then you're never going to get to the Torah. What is all this mumbo jumbo? I already used up my 3 minutes, so what is this? Rabotai, it goes like this. Figuring out your place means knowing what Hashem put you here for. Knowing that everything that Hashem put into this world is for you, but not just it's for you. It's perfect for you. If you're tall, if you're short, if you're good looking, if you're not, if you have money, if you don't have money, all those different things, the parents that you do or don't have, the Rebbeim that are good or not good, the ones who have wronged you, the ones who have done good things for you in life, all of it is a very specific plan, making mikomo, making your place, your place. You know that very famous memory of Chazal that we hear, that if everybody were to put their pekala, their package up on a wall, everybody, Bill Gates, everybody put their lot in life up on the wall. Billionaires put it there. And you had a choice to pick anybody's life. You'd pick your own. Now, as a kid, I thought that was garbage. I'm like, are you kidding me? Because I would certainly be picking other people's lives. Why in the world would I pick my own? The answer goes like this. Honestly, your own, if you pick somebody else's, you're going to cease to exist because there's no purpose in that. You only have life. You were only put here because your own is your life. That is who you are. That is your shleimut. That is what you can get to. That is what makes you whole. Knowing your place is accepting that Hashem put me in this place because it's the best thing for me, and I couldn't be anybody else, because if I tried to be, I would cease to exist, because there's no purpose, there's no focus from God inside that. And the moment you know your place, the moment you get that, you're thrilled. You're thrilled. You're samech bechalko. This is me. This is what Hashem gave me. He literally, I mean, just imagine it. He came from heaven, he handed it down, and he gave it to me, and he said, could you watch this? Could you make this better? Could you water this? Could you make this so much bigger? This is you. And this is only you. Don't look at anything else. And when you do what is you, then you are sameach bechalko. Then that is your part. That is your reality. And then you begin to live. You begin to love what Hashem gave you. You begin to perfect what Hashem gave you. Once you stop living and looking at everybody else, rather you have it in yourself. To finish off, my father would always tell me, Arula, happiness comes from within. Happiness comes from within, my friends. Hashem gave you everything you need to be happy. There's nothing outside. There's nothing there. Everything you need, it's from within. It's you. He gave it to you. If you know your place and you really figure out what makes you amazing, what are my talents, what are my weaknesses, and you build on that, then you'll finally truly be happy. It's right here in the Maral. Please give a look for it yourself. When you don't understand what he's talking about, go up to Rabbi Kaufman and tell him, stop being so busy for 5 minutes. Can you explain this Maral to me?